Just some housekeeping as we get started. My housekeeping notes, I think I can remember them. The webinar is being recorded, so we have to watch our language that's what someone says. But that means that you'll all get a link to the recording afterwards. Zoom does this weird thing when in the chat, it defaults to hosts and panelists. So if you have a question or a comment, please put it in the chat, but change it to everyone so everyone can see your comment. And then lastly, I have my colleague, Corey Richards. She's going to be in the background helping answer questions, set me straight when I get things wrong. And she's also been a key member of the design behind these really cool training chatbots. So she'll be able to answer some questions if I can't. So to get started, if we're not already connected on LinkedIn, would love to connect with you. So please, that's my LinkedIn link on the screen, as well as my email in case you have any questions or follow-up after or even during the webinar today. So let's get started. I am sharing my screen, right? Everyone can see my screen? Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Corey. Corey, Richard is saying that chat is disabled.
Yes, I just saw that. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Otherwise, if you do have questions and you want to put them in Q&A, that also works.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I was wondering why no one was like voting on dad jokes and riddles and anyway.
Okay, I think I should have enabled the chat for everyone. So sorry about that. And thank you so much, Richard, for letting me know.
I think Corey just wanted to dominate the chat herself. That seems like that's what that was all about. Okay, here we go. So here's a little bit of background on this, just a little bit, and Corey, please ping me if I'm getting too long-winded here, but I just want to provide a little bit of context about what this is and why we're doing it. So traditionally, and still is true, Mobile Coach is a platform for people to author chatbots and any sort of automated messaging campaign. And we can do so on all sorts of channels like SMS or WhatsApp or Teams and Slack and so on and so forth. We have a lot of experience with assisting customers of Mobile Coach with their chatbots, and particularly around corporate learning. We've been around for 9 years now. So we've seen a lot of what works in terms of what works in terms of how to best engage someone in a learning experience. And we've learned a lot just through thousands and thousands of chatbots in the platform in regards to the type of content that's consumable, the type of instructional design that seems engaging. And so earlier this year, we decided to kick off, let's put together everything we've learned and create these courses which are out of the box, ready to go. So it's a much easier implementation for people who want chatbots. So we can serve some, a segment of the clientele and companies out there who maybe aren't in a great position to create customized chatbots. So that's a little bit about the background here. And so we're very, very excited to announce this Employee Training Essentials Suite. It's a suite of 9 courses that we're starting with. Our plan is to launch with many more later on. But that's what we'll be introducing. I'm going to show you some of these today and show you how you can try them out. So first of all, I think I'd like to answer the question, why a chatbot to start with? Well, hopefully this will be self-evident once you see a demonstration that I'm going to show you. But it's extremely easy for learners. And what I mean by that, on a number of fronts, they don't have to go to some unfamiliar web-based destination. They don't have to create separate credentials. Everybody already knows how to chat. The proliferation of workplace collaboration platforms like Teams and Slack have really driven conversational user interface across the enterprises, small, medium, enterprise-sized businesses. So it just is super frictionless. And so that's the first reason you'd want to consider a chatbot. It's accessible for all types of learners because a chatbot can be on a desktop, it can be on the mobile phone, it can be on a iPad device. It could be on a shared device. So super accessible for all types of audiences that you might have. And sometimes we're trying to reach hard to reach audiences. Like there's employee segments that don't have corporate emails or don't have corporate devices, and yet they have needs for training, and a lot of times require training. So a chatbot's a great way to reach those people. Super engaging because it's conversational, and we'll show you that here in a minute. And it's really easy to deploy and manage for organizations. You can deploy them on existing platforms that are already approved by your IT and security and privacy teams. You can launch them in multiple languages, worldwide coverage. You can have tens of thousands of people at once. And so, a lot of advantages for chatbots. So that's why, this modality I think is really important for people to be familiar with. And so this initial suite has these first 9 courses. So device security, this is both for workstation and mobile device security courses, sexual harassment, corporate ethics, unconscious bias awareness, handling tough conversations, empathy training, phishing awareness. This is a pretty fun one. I'll show you that in a minute here as well. Sensitivity awareness and basic negotiation. We are open, of course, as I mentioned, we are building out more courses, but we're really interested in feedback, not only about these user experiences, but what other user experiences people would want to see in the lineup coming up next. And because chatbots are conversational user interface, these are really easy to customize. And so if someone, for example, takes a look at the corporate ethics course, this is generalized information, but maybe they've got an existing corporate ethics vernacular or initiative, and they want to emphasize that in the course. Very easy to customize that. So let me show you how one of these looks like. I'm going to show you, oops, am I going the wrong way? I'm going to show you what our handling tough conversations looks like. So to do that, to show you this on Teams. And here's my Teams coming up on the screen. And I've already been on this course, so I'm just going to type in restart. So we start from the beginning. And so again, this is a chatbot. If those of you that use Teams or Slack or Google Chat or what, it's a very similar experience. I've got all my dashboard here, but this is just like chatting with a colleague. And the name of this chatbot is named Justice. And you can see it's introducing, Justice is introducing themselves. I'm Justice, I'll teach you how to approach difficult conversations. And we'll practice some of these conversations. So I'll show you a slide about how all these courses all follow a similar format. But as a learner, if I'm doing this for the first time, Justice has shown me that there are 5 sections to this chatbot course. And it takes about 25 minutes to complete. We're only gonna do a little bit of the first section. So don't worry, you're not gonna watch, you don't have to watch me take this course. I want to just give you a sense of what it's like. So it introduces the course. So, I think what's interesting as I'll do a little bit of color commentary as I show you this user experience. One way to think about this is we all have been through e-learning courses where you're clicking through slides and going next, and it's a linear experience with maybe some voiceover. This is sort of a similar learning experience, but reimagined in a conversation. So if I get started with it and I get a phone call or get distracted, I can just always come back and work on this in my own time. And we'll talk a little bit about reporting and nudging and all of that too. So some of the advantages of a chatbot modality that you can take advantage of as you help people go through a course. So that was the intro. So that's it. Time to continue. For section 1, this will take about 5 minutes. Click the button below to move forward. So let's say I'm ready. I'm going to click ready. Another thing to mention here, because we're taking advantage of Teams and Slack and Google Chat and WebEx Teams, we can do buttons like that. if someone wants to take this course through SMS, of course, SMS there are no buttons. And so that's just a little switch in the mobile coach platform to allow the user experience to match whatever modality a learner's on. So, so now it's walking me through this first section, giving me some instructions. You can link out to other resources, and that's a really important part of what a chatbot can do as well. You can link to articles, to videos. You can already see images that are being embedded. So it can be a multimedia type experience. I'm not going to spend time clicking on these links right now for you to see. Now it's going to teach me, it wants to teach me about this step of changing my mindset. So I'm going to click next because I'm ready for that. We'll just do a few more interactions because I think hopefully some of you are getting the gist of it. So now it's teaching me about changing my mindset. Many of us are conditioned to be afraid of a tough conversation. So it's teaching me a little bit. You can go ahead and read the content. I want to get to the first part where it's more interactive. So it's introducing this idea. And all of this is being powered by our platform where, it's automating the messages, it's timing when the next messages show up, times it to give people a chance to read the message before it moves on. So now it's giving me an example here. Let's actually go through this together. So let's say you are an account manager. You need to have a tough conversation with a client. Your client asks for a change to their widget style, but after speaking to the production team, you learn their specific request won't work. However, the production team did have a different idea. So to change your mindset, instead of thinking that you're telling the client no, you can instead think you're offering a different solution. So it gives me just example, and then there's going to be some practice that shows up. And the practice is, those of you that might be familiar with some mobile coach chatbots in the past, we do a lot of like simulation conversations with practice, multiple choice here. So I need to have a tough conversation with a colleague. So instead of thinking to criticize them because they're, something went awry, gives me a chance to choose an appropriate response. So let me say, I'm just going to choose a random one, see what it would say. And then it gives me some feedback on what I say. So this gives you an example. This is, you can walk people through teaching them a concept and having them practice and apply what they learn in this conversational user interface. We think this is pretty cool. So that is an example, and then move forward to step 2. That's an example of what the user experience will look like. And some are much more visually heavy. So like the phishing awareness course, that gives you a lot of screenshots of phishing attempts via your mobile phone or an email. Then you have to decide, is this a phishing attempt or not? And then based on your answer, it'll give you some coaching on what to recognize. That is gives you a sense of what the courses look like. So pausing here, I'm going to walk you through what these course structures look like. In fact, I'll park on this screen here. Let me just pause here. First, let me ask, what do you think of this modality? And any questions? I'd love some comments in the chat. Looks like the chat's working again.
Richard did ask a question in the Q&A section.
So Richard asks, I assume the completion is the only learner record item tracked, and the completion goes to the administrator, who then enters it on the LMS. I do have a slide on reporting. Let me actually go there to answer Richard's question and come back to the course outline. Our platform can support as much granular reporting as you want. So we can do XAPI, we can do SCORM. And so as you design each interaction, if you want to create a measurable tracker for each question, you can, and then that can be exported, or through an API, it could be, you could be updating a data record store, you could be updating your LXP or your LMS. So we do have a full API, and as long as your LMS or your LXP has API interoperability, then we can integrate with it. If not, we can do CSV uploads. Yes, someone can actually go in and manually update an LMS as well. And I know that still happens, even though it's 2022. And for small and medium-sized businesses that maybe not have, if you don't have a robust LMS already, you can actually use our platform as a LMS Lite and just keep track of all the records of course completions. So assigning who should get the course, who should take the course, tracking course starting when someone starts it, and tracking course completion. The nice thing about a chatbot as well is that you can actually extend that messaging capability to the whole course completion journey. So let's say someone's assigned a course and they haven't started yet. The chatbot could actually say, hey, you need to start this and you have 14 days left before the deadline. And that can all be done in the chatbot as well. So there's a lot of robust reporting that's available with a chatbot modality. So we're really excited about that part of the value proposition. And yes, so any language that you can type in, you can have the chatbot deployed in. So that's a question from Joanne. This suite is being released this week, so we're really excited about it, and it is in English. But if somebody wants it in Spanish or Chinese or Japanese, or whatever language that you want, that's something that's on our roadmap, but we can actually turn around pretty quickly and offer it in multiple languages. So each of these courses are outlined roughly in the same way. It's about 20 to 30 minutes of conversational based learning, which you saw, you got a sense of that. There's questions to assess comprehension. What I didn't show you, and Corey, if you happen to have an example of a badge, because I didn't finish the whole course, if you could find one and just find a way for me to share it so people can see what the badge looks like. And the badges can be personalized as well. We actually have a really cool feature in our platform where we inscribe the badge automatically. So it's a digital badge with your name on it. So, hey, Vince, congratulations on finishing Handling Tough Conversations. And then the other thing that's really, I think, powerful about this user experience, let me go back to my teams, is this last point, 1 month of reinforcement nudges. So once I finish with Justice and I finish the 25-minute course and I get my badge, it doesn't end there. Because Justice is on Teams, a week later, Justice could ping me and say, hey, it's been a week since the Tough Conversations course. Here's a quick pop quiz. What would you do in this situation? Or doing an assessment like, hey, it's been a week since the course. On a scale of 1 to 10, give us some feedback. Did you like this course? And it just happens right on the chatbot. So that's a huge advantage of using this modality. And the out-of-the-box experience is a month of nudges. I think it's once a week for a month, so it's not overwhelming. But that can be customized as well. So if you want to have, so let's say you do have a huge corporate ethics initiative in your company, and you want more than a 1 month reinforcement, then we can customize that and have that be more substantial. Let's highlight some key features. So Emily, if you do use Teams or Slack, in fact, let me go here. These are all the different channels that we support. There's actually more. So for most of these channels, you do have to communicate to your target learner to click on a link to start the course. There are two exceptions. SMS and Slack are two exceptions. For SMS, if you have your target audience phone number, then you can initiate the first text message. For Slack, if you have their Slack ID, you can initiate the first message. But for Microsoft Teams, they don't allow that. So for Microsoft Teams, you can create a link or make it searchable in your Teams, and so that's what the learner would have to do. So hopefully that answers your question. So key features available on these messaging platforms, like I mentioned, interactive, seamless reinforcement. It's a little bit of redundant to the past. That's the last slide. It's worth saying, hopefully you can see it's super easy and engaging for employees. And it can be customized to meet your specific needs. For a lot of companies, they're going to be happy with just the out-of-the-box experience. But again, if you do need or want to customize it, you can. So Carol, yes, everyone's going to get the slides in our recording afterwards. And a great point that Carol asks, can an SMS link be done through a QR code? Yes, in fact, asking people to join the learning chatbot through any of these channels can be done through a QR code. And so we would absolutely recommend that. And Corey has delivered a link to me. I'm going to click and show you an example of a badge. So these badges can be customized look and feel. This is obviously a mobile coach with a mobile coach icon badge, but part of your onboarding to this, if you want to replace this with something with your colors and your logo, absolutely can do that. So this is my digital badge. And so Marty asks, so Marty saw this slide, so we'll go to this slide next. What does the $99 refer to? Well, these 9 courses are part of the suite. So when you purchase a suite for a learner, you get access to all 9 of these courses. And so they're not free. So the whole suite is retailed at $149, I should say, for all 9 courses. 119 is what we're going to reduce this to once we go live. But for the webinar, anyone watching the webinar, I think there'll be some time limit. There's a reduced price to $99 per user for all 9. If someone's interested in just one of the 9 courses, you can reach out to me, and we are planning on supporting that. But this is a training pack that we're going to market with. So if you're interested in that, you can, Corey will put this link in the chat, and you can use the coupon code webinar20 to get the $99 per user. But so there's a little bit of a, when you place an order, there's a deployment workflow. So you have to tell us what channel that you want, or channels, I should say. In fact, let me go to that page so you can see it. I think I have it right here. So this is that landing page. If I click on the order form, you tell us your information, but you can choose which channels you want to support. And then we set those channels up for your organization. So if you decide on Microsoft Teams, we want you to be on a Teams instance that another company is not on. It's just gonna be dedicated right for you. And that's just best practices for security and privacy and all of that. So there is a business day setup, and depending on how many channels that you want, we'll communicate with you about how long it would take. Not more than a few days to get you all set up. And then based on how many learners that you want, so let's say you want to support 50 learners, then we set up a limit so that 50 people can access the courses, and the 51st person, if they try, you can get a notification, and we can get a notification to say, hey, the 51st person has requested access to these courses. So that's a little bit of a setup for the deployment steps. I'm going to go to more questions here in a minute, but I do want to offer, before people start sneaking away, for anyone here, I want to offer 2 courses for you to try for free. So I'm going to park on these for a minute, but I'll just show you what they are. So the Handling Tough Conversations, the one you saw me work with, or the Phishing Awareness course, which I mentioned is kind of the fun one. You can try both of these in either of 2 ways, either on Teams or SMS. So Corey is putting the link to the Teams and the SMS information in the chat if you'd like to try it. And if you try it on either of them, once you get to the chatbot, so for Teams, once you get to Justice, you have to say hi to start the user experience. And similarly with the SMS, when you put in the 580 number, you text it hi. So you have to initiate the initial message, and then it will start going. So here's the phishing awareness one. And if you want to try both, feel free. Feel free to try them both. So we'd love your feedback. This is version 1. So Corey and I are ready. We've got some thick skin, so we're ready to get your constructive criticism. Even if it's not so constructive, we'll take it. And if you've got good things to say, hey, we need more of this, this is great, we'd love to hear that too. So those are 2 courses that you can try for free, the Handling Tough Conversations or Phishing Assessment course. Let me see if there are other, Mio, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, asks, is the $99 per user per month or for lifetime? It is lifetime access to all 9 courses. So it's just a one-time fee for all 9 courses per learner. So that is the answer to that. If as the suite grows, so the $99 price is just for these 9 courses. And so as you might imagine, as we build the course library to 15, 20, 30 courses, there'll be an a la carte option for you to buy more courses. But that's all the, it's just a one-time fee for that. Any other questions? I'd love to hear in the chat which course you're going to try, the Handling Tough Conversations, Phishing, or both. I'm just curious to see what people would choose. Rich is doing both. Emily's doing both. Awesome. And Rich is trying it through SMS. Great. Carol asks a question. Tracking capabilities is the same no matter which channel used. Yes. Question answer is yes. Can you set up the same course on different platforms? Yes, can. We have manufacturing team members that SMS works better and Teams works better for office team members. That is very common, Carol. And in fact, not only that, we have clients who have different offices around the world, and they offer a lot of autonomy to those offices about, like a lot of developers love using Slack. And so when corporate says use Teams, they're like, no, we're going to use Slack. And so you can totally choose Slack and Teams. And the nice thing with that, if it's all under the umbrella of your client, all the reporting is the same. So if you have people handling tough conversations using Teams, SMS, or Slack, you'll still get one report on how everyone in your company is doing. You can also break those report by channel if that's of curiosity to you, so that you have that flexibility as well. But under one umbrella, all the reporting gets aggregated as well. So lots of flexibility there. So Marty, there's no cost if you're just going to use these courses out of the box. And so there is some setup that we do, as I mentioned, to get you your Teams instance up or your SMS instance up. And when I say SMS instance, we'll actually give you a phone number specific for your organization. There's no cost for that. If you come back and say, hey, send me the Handling Tough Conversations script, let me edit it and put in our vernacular, and then can you adjust it and customize it? There will be a cost to that depending on the level of customization you want. And that's just professional services that we charge. We try to be quick. We're very fast, but we will charge for any customization. But out of the box setup, no additional cost. And Javier, absolutely. I don't know if you were here at the very beginning of the session, but the whole reason we launched this suite is because we've had 9 years of working with clients and building conversational driven user experiences. And it just made sense for us to take all that knowledge and experience and wrap it into something that can be so easy for companies to purchase and just deploy. And so that's a long way to answer. Javier had a question whether these chatbots were created with a conversational design approach. So absolutely. We have senior chatbot designers here, and they're the ones that drove the design. So that is great question. Any other questions? It's great questions people have. I am going to show you a little bit about how these were configured for those of you that are interested. So let me log into the Mobile Coach platform. So this is the HR Training Essentials Pack. this is the handling tough conversations course. So this is the way that the mobile coach platform works in authoring all this information. So I demoed this, so you saw these messages in Teams, and you can recognize these messages coming in the authoring. Just going to quickly show you what this looks like. So this is where we're embedding some images. And what we've done here is that we write the user experience and then configure the logic using our controls and conditions and actions. By the way, if this type of user experience inspires you to say, hey, we actually would love this modality for a new employee, a new hire onboarding experience that we have, you can create a completely customized chatbot experience yourself using our platform. That's actually the main purpose of our platform. And so we hope that as you try out these user experiences, a bunch of light bulbs will go on about ideas of how conversational user interface and chatbots can help other initiatives within your company as well. So I wanted to give you a glimpse of how the authoring looks. If you like to author on your own, you can get a license to our platform. You can learn how to author. We train people how to author. We've got script libraries to help you get started. Or if you just want the off-the-shelf courses, that's the whole reason we've released this HR pack to do that. So, so I really appreciate all the comments, the feedback, the questions. Hopefully everything made sense. If you have other questions, feel free to email me at vince@mobilecoach.com. And for those of you that are trying the courses, would love your feedback one way or the other, just whether you're interested in the pack or not, or whether this training course suite is a fit for your company or not. Please let us know what you think and give us suggestions on how we can make it more effective. So any last questions from anyone? I'll wait for any last minute questions. Otherwise, you'll get a link later on. Corey, is that email going to come from me or from you?
The email will come from me. So watch out for an email from me.
So you'll get a link to the recording. You'll get a link to these slides. Let me just say, these slides do offer the Handling Tough Conversations and Phishing Awareness course. Feel free to invite your friends and colleagues to try this out. We just ask you not to send this out to your whole company. Just be a little judicious about who you'd like to share this with. And as you're being judicious about it, feel free to share it. Thank you everyone for joining. We're so excited about this and would love to just really add value through chatbots to your corporate learning strategy. So let us know how we can do that. And thanks so much for joining, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye.